What a great Final Four it was. Sports Snippets. Dennis Sullivan here to discuss the Carolina-Duke game and, of course, Kansas with their convincing victory over Villanova on Saturday night. Setting up Monday's championship game. I want to talk about all that stuff in this video. If you do like content, go right ahead. You know what to do. Hit the thumbs up. There we go. Hit the thumbs up, that would be awesome. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. So let's get started, guys. Yes, it was a huge Saturday night. All kinds of action, all kinds of storylines. And one that you hear about that I'm going to start with is Hubert Davis in his first season leading the University of North Carolina. Hubert Davis' first season as head coach leads them to the championship game, wins 5 tournament games, setting up a giant matchup with the Kansas Jayhawks. These are two of the most storied, historically strong college basketball teams in the country. They've been top-notch for decades. A guy who you see on TV a lot in these telecasts, right behind the Carolina bench, Roy Williams, who also coincidentally coached both these teams, but most recently Carolina for many years, sitting right behind their bench. 71 years old, just retired at the end of last year. I could do a separate video just on that, guys. To me, I just want to touch on Roy Williams just for a quick second. It's very impressive to me. I think it says a lot about Roy Williams. Why do I say that? You see him right behind the entire tournament, right behind the North Carolina bench. I say that because you just don't see a top-notch coach, which Roy Williams certainly was for decades, who could be doing tons of other things. He could be on a golf course, he could be on a vacation, he could be watching the game at home and all this other stuff. Sitting right behind the North Carolina bench with, I'm assuming, many of these players he recruited, assisted in recruiting, with Hubert Davis, showing him support as the new coach. And my point is, you just don't see that today very often. You just don't. You don't see that all the time. As a matter of fact, you don't see that much at all. So my hat goes off to Roy Williams. Would like to even talk more about that. He's totally earning my respect this entire tournament. I first started noticing this in the Baylor game a few rounds ago when they upset, at that time, Baylor. The story was Duke the entire tournament, though. I mean, they were both huge stories. Coach K's last game, last season, after 42 years at Duke, comes to an end, 81-77. And it's somewhat funny, I guess, if you're a Carolina fan anyway, that Coach K would lose his last home game, regular season home game, to North Carolina, when everyone's saying, well, wait a second, what happened there? That was weird. That wasn't supposed to happen. And then Carolina starts looking really good in the tournament, and you're like, whoa, whoa, wait, we got to start taking these guys seriously. And then he loses. That was the first Duke North Carolina tournament game ever they played in the national tournament. First time ever in the tournament, guys, ever. After all these years, and they lose to North Carolina. I think it was just a matter of Carolina being a bad matchup for Duke, because they just had a little too much inside. I mean, you got guys like Armando Bacot pulling down 21 rebounds in his activity. Brady Manick, Leaky Black had 9 rebounds. Manick is interesting. He gives you a little bit of everything. He's surprisingly pretty good from the perimeter. He's got a pretty good shot from the outside. Showed me a lot there. Let's talk a little bit more about that. But the story was Duke, guys. Duke goes down. They make yet another Final Four. Coach K's historically successful career comes to a close, winningest college basketball coach of all time. Now, let's talk a little Carolina here. I put boards, exclamation point. That's what they're all about. That's what they're going to be coming at with Kansas. Kansas creates major problems for everyone. They're a #1 seed in their region. Carolina, of course, an 8th seed in their region, matching up. But I tell you what, guys, North Carolina, when they go up against David McCormack in the finals, David McCormack is probably your best big man. He's going to be the best big man on the court. I mean, he's really good. Not just rebounding, but he's a good offensive presence in the post. They feed him the ball a lot. Understandably so. And Carolina comes at you more with volume. Guys like Bacot, guys like Manick, like that. So it's really one really good player inside against several. I tend to favor, in a way, North Carolina in this game. Even though Kansas is going to be the favorite in this matchup, the battle of the boards is going to be huge. That's Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, when they square off. Now, Kansas, when I put on the snippets board number 3, shot-select, for shot selection, that's where Kansas comes in. That's what Kansas is all about. They are the masters of shot selection, taking the ball to the basket, creating problems, getting the other team in foul trouble, just high percentage shot after high percentage shot. They would go from 3, a very impressive 13 for 24. That's a little over 54%. That's extremely good against Villanova. Villanova didn't do too bad from 3, 13 of 31. About 42%, just under 42%. So they each made 13 threes when Kansas defeated Villanova on Saturday night, 81-65. The only difference is it only took Kansas 24 shots to make those threes. It took Villanova 31. You see, Kansas is very efficient, guys. Rebounding advantage, Kansas held a 35-29 advantage. Both teams, Carolina and Kansas, won the battle of the boards. Carolina won in that department over Duke 50-41. Carolina also won the battle of three-pointers, a pretty good 10 out of 26. Did Carolina shoot against Duke from 3? Duke struggled mightily from 3, 5 of 22. That's going to get you just under 23%. That's not going to get it done. Creating problems, but credit is the word I was looking for. Credit Carolina for that strong defense. Very strong perimeter defense. Another guy is Ochai Agbaji. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Agbaji from Kansas, who can also score in bunches. Finished with 21 points in the semifinal win against Villanova. So I'm going back and forth a little bit here, guys, just to illustrate. Both Kansas and North Carolina won the battle of the boards in their games, respectively, in their victories Saturday night, and they both won the battle of three-point shooting, which has a lot to do with the overall offense, shot selection. Kansas is very good at, they do it the opposite as many teams. What do I mean by that? They're very good at setting up the three with inside play, with passes into the post, drives to the basket, setting up the three, whereas many other teams, Carolina somewhat, they set up the inside play with the perimeter shooting. You see what I mean? So Kansas can beat you without taking that many threes, and they could easily score 80 points or more. So shot selection, it's hard to outdo Kansas in that department. So I put North Carolina with a question mark. I mean, they're underdogs. They're small underdogs in this game. Haven't checked the points yet. How many point underdogs? Since that's just getting released now, as it's Sunday afternoon. But Carolina just has to keep staying strong on the boards, keep defending, I mean, you held Duke to 77 points. That's not that bad. Duke's a really good team. I mean, you got on Duke, I mean, Benchero scored 20 against them. Trevor Keels. Wendell Moore's a very good player for Duke. So they held Duke to 77 points. So they just keep playing tough defense, as tough as possible. And the battle of the board is going to be huge on Monday night, guys. It's going to be huge. I think Carolina has a chance. They have about, I'll give them like a 45% chance, close to a 50% chance to win this game. If they defend really well, R.J. Davis was big too, and Caleb Love. Don't forget the backcourt of Carolina. Davis had 18.7 rebounds, 4 assists against Duke. Love would finish with 28 points and 4 rebounds. Love is like their big shot guy from the perimeter. They give him the ball in big spots. He can come up with big baskets. R.J. Davis is a very good guard for Carolina. So let me know what you think, guys. Next, yeah, it's going to be Monday night the 4th, 9 o'clock Eastern. Check it out. Championship game of college basketball. Last year we had Gonzaga and Baylor. That was a pretty good game. Remember, Baylor just came out. Took it to them. And I think a lot of people had Gonzaga in that game last year. At least that's the vibe I got. So will Carolina do the same thing to Kansas? We'll see. We will see. Time will tell. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment. I'll be back middle of the week. We'll talk about how the championship game went. This is Sports Snippets. Dennis Sullivan saying I'll see you, yes you, very soon. Bye for now.